things are starting to get a little bit more exciting over here in Bitcoin and cryptocurrency land as Bitcoin does head up almost close to 28,000 bucks on spot price action, maybe off the backs of some wars. So perhaps not the best narrative in the background, but in other words, there are some interesting things to be looking at right now. And to reference the title, it does look like Bitcoin is once again putting in one of those major lows quietly while no one's watching, while no one's paying attention, while no one even gives a care. But that's okay. I still care. Do you care? I don't know. Is anyone even watching this? Doesn't matter. All right, sweet. Let's just jump right into it. I'd like to welcome you back to the Krown Crypto channel. We have a chart over here, and we have a chart over here. And this is the chart that we're going to start off on because it correlates best to my notes. So first things first, I want to come back to the daily HPDR bands. And we did see that yesterday, that this is one of the few things that was suggesting that Bitcoin probably does put in a bounce from this $26,700-ish region right here off of the bottoms of that blue 50% of range lows. Now, I will say that this indicator and the next suite of caretaker indicators, like I said, are going to be ready probably around early-ish November is what we're aiming for. But so far, so good. And they're really starting to prove themselves in what is a pretty tricky situation here because most of the things were actually pointing, at least in the short-term downside. If you remember from last week, I was actually biased towards a little bit more of a short-term move to the downside. Not long-term, still Bitcoin likely put in lows. Within this region right here. I was certainly wrong about that, although the big focus, of course, is on the long term right here. And in this case, the HPDR bands got it. They did say that higher probability of a bounce in this region right here. And on top of that, what's also very interesting to me is that we did see some hidden bullish divergence or continuation divergence on the HPDRO, the oscillator here, correlated to volatility and momentum. So this is actually very, very profound to me because we did not see the same thing on the traditional oscillators, the traditional momentum oscillators like RSI, stochastics, these sort of things. They were not showing that. They were actually showing either neutrality or a slight bias to the downside, neither of which really occurred in like a significant fashion. Yeah, we did get a short-term move to the downside, but it wasn't even that deep, to be fair. So I'm really starting to love this suite of indicators here, especially as it proves it during, I think, one of the more difficult times in Bitcoin, as despite it being boring, important things have happened, and it has, well, it has been putting in higher lows here. So once again, Bitcoin has low, higher low, higher low. And again, we did see that on the oscillator right here. And we have a high, we have a higher high, and perhaps Bitcoin's going for another high right here. If you also recall back to last week's videos, one of the big key factors was if Bitcoin can reclaim 27,500, especially on, on a higher term time frame closure, which could happen as soon as tonight, then I would be looking for Bitcoin to make a move somewhere close to 29,000 bucks. Guess where that is? That's actually the top side of the 50% range right here. So, it's going to be it's a long day left to go, obviously. 18 hours, 7 minutes, and 36 seconds and counting. But so far so good. And if Bitcoin can again close above that region, 27.5, last week's breakdown level, yeah, I'd be looking for Bitcoin to make its way just above 29,000 bucks, maybe even close to 30,000 bucks overall. Of course, not going to happen in like one massive green dildo, but over time, Bitcoin has been taking its time. I'd be looking for that to kind of occur. Anyways, let's move on to the next chart. This was also a focus in last week's videos, the daily silver cross on Bitcoin here, spot that is. And you can see that the silver cross has actually reclaimed itself to the upside. So whenever I see something like this, where these moving averages, the yellow 21 and the green 55 are kind of coalescing around each other like that and kind of snaking around, a lot of the time, once it does have that sort of divergence from one, from one moving average to the other, that is the real direction. In this case, it's reclaiming a very important level here, back above both major moving averages, as it did have a chance to cross the downside. I need to plug in my computer just one moment here. Let's see. There we go. Really love the Wolverine comments yesterday. It makes me feel really good. I'm a hairy motherfucker, man. I can't help it. I was born like this. I used to try to shave it off my shoulders too because I hated it, and I shaved my face. I used to hate having facial hair. Now I'd probably kill myself if I didn't have facial hair. Not to say that you should kill yourself if you don't have facial hair. I'm not saying that, but just for me, it wouldn't feel right. Anyways, it's actually pretty annoying too because I shed everywhere. Everywhere I go, there's little hairs left over. It's really nice for Elsa to clean up. But that's why we have girlfriends. They clean up after you. All right, back on topic here. Anyways, yes, Bitcoin reclaiming this region. before it did get, really a confirmation of that downside cross is significant, I would say. And again, it goes hand in hand with the sort of greater analysis that I was having on that silver cross, in the sense that anytime that you do see a silver cross on the same side of the dominant trend, those are the big ones. So that was obviously, starting over here, leading up for these, past couple moves as Bitcoin goes all the way from like 15,000 to, almost 32,000 bucks. We did see a downside cross right here and a downside cross right here, but downside crosses, which are contrary to the higher term time frame trend, in this case the weekly, usually are opportunities. And this one over here was yet again another opportunity. Didn't even go that far down, actually. So kind of just shows you the strength in the short term. I'm trying to find something for the other side as well. I do want this to be fair and balanced, like Fox News, but 27.5 still. If Bitcoin were to come back down below 27.5, I'd say that there's still a chance. A decent shot of a return back down to like 26,000 or 25,500, somewhere in that region there. But until then, it is looking like Boolahs are stepping up here a little bit. Anyways, bringing up oscillators right here. We can see that daily RSI constructive, reaching back towards the edge of the bullish control zone, and we do see that the daily jewel has actually lost its downside curvature, and now potentially in the process over the next day or two to get an upside curvature, which would be also very, very nice. Anyways, going over here to CME, I did want to also point out that the 5-day time frame is still playing out this hidden bullish divergence that it did have, going back from basically the lows that we did look at in September. It's just been taking its time, obviously. And again, another example here, Bitcoin just remaining above that silver cross, and even in the last like couple hours here, reclaiming all major moving averages, actually, even the Cyan 9 exponential moving average. So so far so good. Still got another day and a half left till closure. So again, a lot can happen here, but as long as it's above here, as that time draws down, that's just going to increase the probability of more upside continuation. Anyways, moving on now, I do want to get into, should we look at daily stats? Yeah, let's look at daily stats, and we'll go into momentum. But we can see over here Monday is a little bit less on the bullish side as far as positive closures. 43.75% of all of the daily closures in Bitcoin's history have closed positively, so a little bit less than half. In the case that it has closed positively, it has gained on average 2.33%. We've actually already seen, I think, more than that. Yeah, it's been about a 2.69% move thus far. Very nice number right there. But yeah, I'm just showing the stats over here. Tomorrow, more importantly, Tuesday, as always, is the most bullish day for Bitcoin, closing 64.5% almost positively throughout the full history of Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin can, especially reclaim those critical levels on the daily closure tonight, that's going to look really good coming into Tuesday for that stat coming into play. What else do I want to get into? Yeah, we can go through stochastic momentum now. Maybe we go through the 4-hour time frame bands over here, bands of maker dance. Actually, Bitcoin breaking out of the 50% range, heading towards the 80%. 80% high is just over 28,000 bucks, for what it's worth. Anyways, what is stochastic momentum looking like right now for Bitcoin? Hey, computer, stop making fucking noises. It's annoying. What are these over here? Oh God, stop it. I don't want these notifications. I'm not using TradingView for social tools, sir. Don't care. Daily over here for CME, stochastic momentum will actually pop back onto the upside if Bitcoin does close above 28,000 bucks. Right now, CME is trading at about $150 to $200 premium over spot price action, so it is actually above 28,000 bucks. Still a long day left to go, obviously, but so far so good. 12-hour time frame also going to be pointed to the upside from the critical zone here, supported by DMI, by the way. This same area calling the last few bounces, I think. Let's see what the history does show. Do I need to get rid of a lot of things? Nah, this is fine. We can see from this critical zone here, it remains to the upside, as you can see, as long as Bitcoin's above 26,830. Yeah, decent. Go back into it now. 6-hour time frame going to be showing also upside pressure as long as Bitcoin's above 26,700. 4-hour time frame is going to be showing also upside above as long as Bitcoin's above 27,000. Hourly time frame is going to be showing actually also upside above 27,850, but getting in the critical zone right here. And then of course, we can go to the 5-day and the weekly. 5-day time frame going to look like it's going to get its second closure, confirming the upside tomorrow, assuming that Bitcoin remains above 26,000. And the weekly, which just closed and just reopened, has moved to 26,100. So I believe that pivot has actually either remained the same or gone down slightly. So far so good. I think the last thing that we can speak about here maybe is just an allusion to what might be the topic of tomorrow. This is still very much relevant over here. It's just, the 5-day volatility versus stochastic momentum signature. 5-day BBWP went back down basically to 1/0 percentile. Does it start to expand from this move? There is going to be a possibility of that if Bitcoin does start to trade a little bit further north. It should start to expand. And again, that will close. Oh, whoops, I'm on the wrong time frame. 5-day time frame here. There we go. Yeah, that will close tomorrow night for both spot price action and CME. And for spot price action, again, the current pivot is 26,300. So yeah, especially if it closed back above the last 5-day high, which is 28,100. That would look really, really nice for the BULOS. But for right now, I'd still have a keen eye on 27.5. As long as Bitcoin's above it, favors the BULOS for continuation to, low 29s. I would say even probably 30,000 plus. But if Bitcoin does lose 27.5, well, at that point, probably back down to the prior range lows. And I'd still say the same things last week. Well, it probably does come back down to the prior range lows. Not necessarily bearish on that. Anyways, all of this analysis still playing hand in hand with that hash ribbons analysis, which is really funny because people really fucking hate that one for whatever reason. But working so far. Anyways, I am going to leave things off right there. As always, I'd like to wish you the best. Take care, much love, and see you hopefully Tuesday.